Guys, it's a wonderful and very bright morning right here. As you can see, I came to the farm today after some weeks of me being on the farm. All right, so currently our birds are 5 weeks of age and they're doing very well. It's been a while I came here and they have been doing a great job. Okay, so we extended the brooder. Looking at these birds, you can see how active they are. We made the place so big that they can move around, all right, to prevent those little bacteria, all right, because when there's enough space in the farm, the birds tend to do very well because they have the chance to move around, to do what they want, right? So guys, I'm using these particular drinkers, and these drinkers I'll be using till the birds get into the cage. Why? Because most times when you use the bigger drinker, bigger drinkers reduce stress, right? So you can come to the farm, give them water, and you will come back maybe in the next 5 hours to monitor your birds because the drinker is big enough, right? But with these small drinkers, I can bet you that you'll be coming right into this brooder at least every 2 hours or 1 to 2 hours to monitor, all right? And by doing so, you'll be able to dictate or monitor everything perfectly, all right? If you have careless workers, you can implement this strategy that will make the workers come into the brooder from time to time to check on the birds, because we have the automatic drinker, all right? The automatic cup drinker that enables the birds to stay or drink for long, all right? You can even put water for them and they will stay longer, up to 5-6 hours, all right? But we need that monitoring because these birds are not too big enough. They are just 5 weeks plus. You can see drinking well. So today we administer calm and prolium for the birds because they started putting these brownish sticky droppings, which is coccidiosis, and we need to arrest it before it starts. So let me show you something that I mean by that, or what I mean by the sticky. Can you see this brown poop here? You can see this is a pure sign of coccidiosis. You can see this one right here. This one is mixed. So most times while I do this on the farm, or put something like this most of the times, you can easily dictate when the birds need amprolium or coccidiosis medication, all right? Because most time it's not just advisable to give your birds antibiotics without any sign. Let's forget about the medication routine or the medication chart we are all following. When your bird is not down with some particular bacteria or infections, you should not just start giving them the medication for that, all right? You have to verify to make sure that this is the root cause of it before administering any medication to your birds. Like most times, I see most people giving antibiotics to day-old chicks. So why on earth will you do that? Why on earth will you do that? You gave birth, like a mother that gave birth today, and you are giving your baby chloroquine. Is it possible? It's not possible. You gave birth today and you are giving your baby chloroquine. Even the doctor will not advise you, but you are doing that to a bird. You are giving them doxygen, you are giving them Kenflog, you are giving them strong medication, Florico, that will make them turn resistant. It is not necessary, honestly. So we have to learn to do this. You have to get the root cause of it and make sure you have emergency medication on your farm. It is very important. Anything can happen, my bro. Anything can happen. These birds, we cannot just be experts, honestly. Even doctors most time go down with serious illness. Yes, talk more of these birds. You cannot just be a professional. You keep learning till you are better. Different birds will bring different issues to your farm, all right? Different batches of birds will show you different things, all right? You can't just be perfect in this field. It's not possible. So you can just try to manage them for a very long time, good, and you do well, better than most people, but you can't just be a professional, honestly. But you will do well. You have upper edges over people. That is why it's even good to get a good supplier. All right, get good suppliers that will give you good birds. All right, so let it be that when you are getting birds, you have no issue with the hatchery. Let it be that issue is from your farm. Yes, that is why you need to keep record of your farm history. It is very advisable. So take note, all right, of all this. That's it. So with this badge, I'm just very careful with these birds because I don't want any challenge. I don't want any issue. That's why I am always very careful. All right. So we are giving them light. Also, you can see the solar up here that they are using. Okay. So that solar helps them to eat more at night. Because we are going to stop the chickman at week 8. Okay. We'll continue grower feeds for them to feed properly. So we'll take off this light once they are week 12 of age. We'll reduce it. We'll reduce the hours. Right? Because if you give them more light, they will start laying early. If you give your birds more light, they will lay very early, and it is not advisable. Okay? And mind you that most times when you start treating your birds, when they are sick, you start treating your birds, they don't just recover at once. Some takes time to recover. Yes. While others recover smallest time. Like in the simplest day, like in the less days, maybe some can take around 4 to 5 days, while some will just take 3 to 2 days, depending on how long the bacteria has been in their system. Like what I told you, you see that some birds are dropping sticky droppings, and if you look closely here now, you will see blood droppings on the litter, which tells you that some birds have started having this coccidiosis in their body for a while. All right, so make sure the coccidia doesn't get into bloody droppings because it's a very bad sign. Honestly, if you look closely, you can see. Can you see? This is pure bloody droppings from the birds. Can you see? You can see. So you have to pay very good attention to the birds. You can see some of them are doing this blood dropping. Some are even dropping normal. Okay, some have normal dropping poo. So all the birds in your farm can't just go down immediately. It takes one step at a time for something to happen to them, unless it's a viral bacteria or a viral infection that can touch your birds. But aside that, you have to pay very good attention to these birds because they won't tell you. They don't talk. These birds won't tell you that, see what the problem is, see what is happening to us. They will not talk. You have to use your eyes and observe these birds and count. Know what is happening to your birds. Okay? So that is that for today and for week 5. Alright? So by next week, we shall give our last Lasota. Okay, that is the last Lasota for this young badge. So we shall start planning how to cage them. Alright, advise most farmers, if you know you want to do this business for a long time, layers farming particularly, my brother, my sister, what you are going to do is make sure you buy a cage. Get a cage and cage these birds when they are around 12 to 14 weeks or even 16 weeks of age, for you to be able to manage them efficiently. If you have the money to start 1,000 layers, why not start 700 pullets and cage them with the remaining money instead of buying 1,000 and keeping them on the floor? I've never seen any farmer that kept up to 2,000 to 300 to 2,000 to 3,000 birds on the floor, like deep litter on the ground. It's very difficult. I have not seen, but I've seen birds where people keep 20,000, 30,000 birds on the farm. There might be people that keep 2,000 birds on the floor, but honestly, it needs intense management and monitoring, because if not, one small issue will bring down those birds. I can assure you. If you are doing that deep litter system, you need to have a perfect team that will monitor your birds. If not, you will hear word of God. You will cry. One suddenly, you just come out one morning and see that team, see them moving around, see them playing, flying. One sudden changes, bro. You will lose your birds. I can assure you. So you have to make sure you get cage system, battery cage system. If you know you want to keep your birds for long, if you want to do this business and enjoy it, you just get good management, get good workers that will monitor your birds for you. At least you are sure of some certain diseases like coccidiosis, all these minor bacteria that can eat the birds faster from inside. Like typhoid, also salmonellosis can also affect birds in the cage, but most times it has to do with the water. All right, the typhoid from the water. But most of all these small bacteria, it will be very difficult to affect the birds when they are in the cage. So do well to get a cage. All right, I'm not advising you or begging you. I'm just telling you it's what I've observed. If you want to do well, you just have to get a cage. If you want to turn this poultry farm into a passive income where you will not always be on the farm, get a cage, put on the farm, get workers, let them manage your birds for you. Once they are off the brooder, you enjoy this business. Yes, you enjoy it. You have your time to move around. You turn it to a passive income while you might be sleeping like this. Money will be entering your account. They'll be sending eggs and be crediting you. You go to the farm at least 3 times a week, 2 times a week. But if you have your birds on the floor, don't worry. Let's just stop for that place. So thank you and have a wonderful day.